Pope's first public appearance since his bombshell resignation announcement. Thousands give him a thunderous ovation. In his native Germany, his reception on the political stage has long been much cooler. 18 months ago, Benedict became the first religious leader in history to address the German parliament. It was a politically sensitive and highly philosophical speech.
To serve right and to fight against the dominion of wrong is and remains the fundamental task of the politician. At a moment in history when man has acquired previously inconceivable power, this task takes on a particular urgency. Man can destroy the world.
Almost provocatively, the Pope urged discussion on the foundations of modern Western law. And though he praised the environmental movement, he also had words of warning.
There is also an ecology of man. Man, too, has a nature that he must respect and that he cannot manipulate at will.
Words that challenge liberal-minded policies on issues like abortion, stem cell research, and euthanasia. About 100 lawmakers boycotted the Pope's Bundestag speech, saying it violated the constitutional demand for a separation of church and state. But all parliamentary parties praised the Pope's discourse before returning to daily business. Meanwhile, in downtown Berlin, a few MPs led a low-key protest against the Pope and the Church's conservative policies. The road to the Benedict's Bundestag speech was long. The sense of elation that gripped Germany and some of its politicians in the wake of his election was followed by relationship ups and downs. Benedict was given a rapturous welcome on his first visit to Germany as Pope in 2005. With national election campaigns in full swing, he was feted like a pop star. Then Chancellor Gerhard Schröder and his conservative opposition rival Angela Merkel, both Protestants, but nevertheless eager for photo ops. Amid the wave of euphoria, Benedict's books topped bestseller lists. Even politicians admitted to reading them. In one, he describes the difficulty politicians face in making decisions. But then relations cooled, not least after a string of church scandals. German politicians distanced themselves. The low mark in 2009, when Benedict lifted the excommunication of Holocaust denier Bishop Richard Williamson. Critics accused the Pope of placing church unity above political considerations. Chancellor Merkel happened to be standing next to the president of Kazakhstan, an alleged human rights offender, when commenting on the Pope's decision.
The Pope and the Vatican should clarify unambiguously that there can be no denial and that there must be positive relations with the Jewish community overall.
Things got worse. In 2010, the Church was rocked by revelations of decades of child sex abuse at Catholic institutions. The German justice minister leveled strong allegations against church leaders. Relations between Berlin and the Vatican were poisoned. Benedict's efforts to address the problem did little to help. A long stretch of behind-the-scenes diplomacy led to the Pope's 2011 state visit to Berlin. Compared to the high note of his first trip to Germany, the atmosphere this time was much more formal. After Benedict's surprise resignation, Chancellor Merkel was one of the first world leaders to react.
If the Pope himself has come to the conclusion that he no longer has sufficient strength to exercise his office, that earns my utmost respect.
So what do people think the new Pope should do to heal the rift between German politicians and the Catholic Church?
The Pope is the head of the Catholic Church, not a politician, so he's free to contribute to any debate. But in my mind, it would be wrong to expect him to contribute to any political dialogue.
I think he needs to get involved when it comes to contraception, particularly in the developing world, in Africa, where AIDS is still such a major problem.
He shouldn't get involved in political debates. He should take care of his church, that's it.
The expectations of one cardinal who will be taking part in the election of a new pope are straightforward.
He should simply be the one destined by God for the office, regardless whether he's European, African, or Asian.
Germany's ties with the Vatican have changed significantly in recent years. Relations now more cordial than warm. Whoever succeeds Benedict, his church will meet greater reserve from German politicians.